question, wrestling fans. Is WrestleMania too big for one night? Is it too big for one night? Do we need to put the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania, into 2 nights? My opinion? No. Unless you're talking about how long the show is, my opinion is no. Look at what they presented to us tonight. Outside of Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins and The Undertaker versus AJ Styles. Outside of those 2 matches, WWE presented to us tonight not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. They are saving the biggest matches, the best card, for tomorrow. They are. Okay, wrestling fans, tonight they didn't show a whole lot. And the matches that we thought had potential, that we thought were going to show us something, that we thought was going to have some good outcomes, ended up being flops. Just think about it. Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn walked out the Intercontinental Champion. Wrestling fans, it makes me cringe. Sami Zayn walking out the IC champ. Why? Because Sami Zayn is not Vince McMahon in 2007. In 2007, Vince McMahon held the ECW championship. He was gold on the mic, and he held this entire storyline with Bobby Lashley, and he had Umaga and Shane McMahon by his side, and all this stuff. And he went around, and it was a 3-on-1 handicap matchup, and all this different types of stuff happened because of WrestleMania 23. Now, wrestling fans, we do not need to relive that. WWE, we don't need to relive it. Daniel Bryan should have went over here and should be holding the Intercontinental Championship. Now, moving on. Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch. Shayna Baszler has been on a tear through the entire Raw Women's Division. Absolute tear. Okay? Why? Why does WWE have to humble Shayna Baszler, take her down a notch by having Becky Lynch win? Now, I'm a Becky Lynch fan, don't get me wrong, but it's time for Becky Lynch to drop that title. It's time, okay? Shayna Baszler needs to win it. I don't understand why WWE has to do the same storyline every single time. Person is always on the rise. The golden champion beats the person that's on the rise, and then the one that's on the rise takes the title from her or him at the pay-per-view that is less important. Same happened at WrestleMania 25. Randy Orton and Triple H. The same has always happened. On and on and on and on. I could go a laundry list of rivalries, but I'm not going to take that time to go over it. WWE does this each and every rivalry, it seems like. WWE tonight took Goldberg and Braun Strowman, and I don't know if you all really noted, pay this close attention to when 2K, the 2K19, 2K18, whichever WWE 2K you're playing, but you know when down at the bottom when it goes yellow and it's a squash matchup? That's pretty much what this was. I mean, honestly. Each person was squashing each other. Goldberg squashed Braun Strowman for a handful of seconds. Braun Strowman squashed Goldberg for a handful of seconds. 1, 2, 3, and the match was over. Braun Strowman, the new Universal Champion in the WWE. Do any of you out there care? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know. Me personally, no. Braun Strowman has changed so many times. Heel babyface, heel babyface, heel babyface, heel babyface. That, and it's not that he's changed so many times. He did it so quick that I just don't care about him anymore. I don't care about his character anymore. So, I'm glad that he dropped the Intercontinental Championship, and I'll be glad when he loses the Universal Championship. It'll probably be the Roman Reigns, but whenever Roman Reigns comes back, but honestly, it'll be better on Roman Reigns' shoulder than it will be Braun Strowman's. And I'm being 100% honest with you on that. Now, let's move on to the Kabuki Warriors taking on the Captain Schizo, Nikki Cross, and Alexa Bliss. New tag team champions in the WWE. And I'm glad because the Kabuki Warriors weren't doing anything with those women's tag titles. Will Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross do anything with them? Probably not, except show them off on a moment with Bliss. But, wrestling fans, I can tell you it was a pretty good contest to open up WrestleMania 36. Pretty good matchup. I'm not going to say it wasn't. Not going to complain about the matchup. Because, honestly, it wasn't one of those tag team matches where it's like, it's going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. It wasn't one of those. It was very entertaining, and honestly, it kept me in tune throughout the first match, and got me interested in seeing what was going to come next. So, good job on WWE's part, and whoever produced that opening contest. Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. Now, WWE did the route that I thought they were going to do. They put Kevin Owens over here. Seth Rollins laid down for Kevin Owens, and I thought that they were going to go this route because they were building this matchup. Like, Kevin Owens has not had his WrestleMania moment. He hasn't had it. Well, if he hasn't had his WrestleMania moment, and they were building it up like they did the Big Show's WrestleMania moment back in 2012 when he took on Cody Rhodes for the Intercontinental Championship, of course, Kevin Owens is going to win here. And who better to beat than burn it down the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. Y'all let me know what you're thinking about in the comments below. But it was a good contest. I have nothing to complain about that contest about. Except, the fact that they had to make a no disqualification matchup simply so Kevin Owens could do that one spot and so they could protect Seth Rollins with his loss. Even though, if you ask me, a loss to Seth Rollins would do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because as of right now, Seth Rollins is kind of like AJ Styles to some degree. He's not touchable. People are either going to like him or they're not going to like him. Whether he loses or he wins, it really doesn't matter. Especially in WWE's eyes. Okay? The vision in WWE's eyes is not going to change whether Seth Rollins loses or wins. If he loses one time, it doesn't matter. So they didn't need to make the no DQ match for him to get a loss. And finally, before I get out of here, The Undertaker versus AJ Styles. A few things came to my mind when this match was going on. Number one, I was glad it went on last. Very glad that it went on last. Number two, the Undertaker versus AJ Styles, they made it kind of like the Wyatt family compound out in the graveyard, and it had the house out there in the graveyard. And it even had a tombstone with AJ Styles' name on it, and his day, and the year he was born to the year he got buried. Because of course the Undertaker won this matchup. Kind of knew that was coming, It was a very intriguing matchup. A very intriguing match all the way through. Anderson and Gallows got to tombstone and kind of thrown off the house, the roof of the house. AJ Styles got chokeslammed off the roof of the house. Then he got big booed into the gravesite, and of course, he got dirt dumped on him. One thing I noticed, wrestling fans, you remember in the 90s, every time the Undertaker got buried alive or anything like that, his hand always got stuck. His hand always came up in the middle of the air. What was that a symbol of? Well, as Bobby the Brain Heenan used to say about the Undertaker, he is not alive. Just something like that. Well, wrestling fans, that's a symbol. Of course, AJ Styles is coming back. Okay, that's pretty much what that symbol is. It's the same symbol that the Undertaker made every time he got buried alive, except when he got buried alive when he was the biker gimmick and he was going to come back as the dead man with Paul Bearer at Wrestlemania 20. That didn't happen, wrestling fans, because at that time, Kane crawled all over the gravesite and put all that stuff on it. One thing I'm going to say about this new Undertaker gimmick, though, is WWE should have used the Dead Man Walking song. Not this new stuff that they're using now, the Metallica stuff. I think that's who sings that new song. But anyway, wrestling fans, a pretty good matchup. It went back and forth, okay. It wasn't a one-sided affair, Undertaker just beating AJ Styles down. They had the Druids attacking the Undertaker, and then Anderson and Gallows attacking the Undertaker, and all this stuff. It was a very intriguing matchup. I'm glad it went on last. But of course, the Undertaker won. Like we all knew he was going to, wrestling fans. Have to see what happens in the later weeks, in the upcoming weeks. One thing's for sure, though. Next, we're going to see Last Man Standing. We're going to see the Firefly Funhouse. And I'm just hoping that's a treat. Just like the match we just got done seeing with Taker and Styles. But y'all let me know what you're thinking. And I'll see you tomorrow for night 2 of Wrestlemania. I'll see you for the review of that. But until I see you then, catch you on the other side.